District Attorney Fani Willis, well, the court records have been unsealed, and guess what? No mention of her in these divorce records, no mention of her at all. Hundreds of pages, not one mention of the DA. Put up the picture full mask. Let me remind you why everyone paid attention to the distraction rather than Mr. Roman, who's actually on trial for trying to overthrow democracy. His defense attorney filed a motion. On the last day, he was allowed to file a motion before the trial. It's called a pretrial motion. He files the pretrial motion, indicates by way of rumor and conjecture that the district attorney is involved in an inappropriate relationship. And because of this, his client should have all charges dropped, which is insane. Because even if there's a violation of an office policy between two consenting adults, it is not a statutory violation against the rights of the defendant, nor is it a constitutional violation against the rights of the defendant. But still, the motion wanted the divorce proceeding, the documents, to be unsealed, insinuating that in those documents, we would somehow find evidence of this rumor. Fulton County, Georgia, the recently unsealed records pertaining to the divorce of Fulton County Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade do not provide evidence of an improper clandestine relationship with his superior, Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Wade was appointed by Willis to lead the investigation into Georgia election interference case. He's basically the manager, all right? He's the guy to make sure all of the I's are dotted, T's are crossed. It did result in the indictment of former President Donald Trump and 18 others. Let's make the main thing again. Put him up. Him. That's the main thing. Co-defendant Michael Roman, a former White House aide, filed a motion alleging a romantic involvement between Willis and Wade, along with saying, and they benefited from this relationship and from the prosecution. Roman also requested the unsealing of Nathan and Joycelyn Wade's divorce records, all right? There's more. Cobb County, this is where it happened. Cobb County is next to Fulton County. Cobb County Superior Court Judge Henry Thompson ordered the unsealing of these records on Monday. However, the extensive documents spanning hundreds of pages make no mention of Willis or any other potential romantic interest. Nathan and Joycelyn Wade were married on June 21st, 1997. They separated August 15th, 2021. The timeline is important. With Nathan Wade filing for divorce November 2nd, 2021. Now, before I go and give you the rest of the details here, you do know the headlines will not be as sensational, will not be as robust as the initial headline, which was based on rumor. Now we have a fact. The fact provides a contrast to the insinuation of the motion. The motion filed by the Trump co-defendant said you will find evidence of a romantic relationship in this filing. Unseal it. A judge decides to unseal it. There is no evidence that a relationship was taking place at that time. None. Is the other thing. Fani Willis, the DA, through a spokesperson, said very clearly, we will answer these questions in court. Well, what happened? After that, a motion was filed as a rebuttal from the DA's office, basically saying, I have no unique knowledge of any information that would be germane to a divorce proceeding with Mr. Wade, Who told the truth? She did. Who insinuated a lie? Mr. Roman. These are the facts so far. There's more. So in her counterclaim, and this is the counterclaim of Joycelyn Wade, a counterclaim is normative in divorce proceedings. In her counterclaim, submitted November 30th. Now watch the timeline. This is 28 days after Mr. Wade filed for divorce. 28 days later, she files a counterclaim. She submitted a comprehensive list of interrogatories. Interrogatories, and let me explain this. Interrogatories are basic but probative questions that you are to answer, all right? So you can say, describe your romantic entanglements. Was there excessive alcohol use in the relationship? These are interrogatories are presented in the counterclaim, all right? These questions cover financial matters related to Nathan Wade, along with personal aspects, including sexual partners, casual meetings with other women than his wife during the marriage and separation, social media, dating, website activities, and inquiries about both drug and alcohol usage. Nathan Wade responded to the interrogatories in the counterclaim on December 2021, all right? But according to Joycelyn's attorney, the response was deemed woefully inadequate as it included only a few incorporation documents, one bank statement, and minimal answers to personal interrogatories. She wasn't satisfied with the answers, but here's one answer we have, had nothing to do with DA Fani Willis. Can we all agree that the answers, the questions, the back and forth, the claim, the counterclaim, and then the counter to the counterclaim had absolutely nothing to do with DA Fani Willis? There's more. Over the subsequent 2 years, Joycelyn Wade's attorney repeatedly complained about Nathan Wade's willful refusal, it is called, to provide the requested documents or answer interrogatories. In May 2023, the court ordered Nathan Wade to submit all outstanding documents, including tax records and pay stubs, which he partially complied with in June 2023. Subsequently, he faced contempt charges August 2023 and was directed to provide additional credit card statements and law firm records. So let's go to September. Now, if he doesn't provide, let me say this, if he doesn't provide the information required by the court, you are then technically in contempt. It's up to the judge to enforce the contempt action or not. Looks like this judge enforced the contempt action. That is separate. That is separate from any issue with DA Fani Willis. I can't see the district attorney being involved in his interrogatories or whatever legal strategy he and his attorney may have as it relates to the counterclaim. Has nothing to do with DA Fani Willis. Once again, September 2023, Joycelyn Wade filed another motion. It is a motion to reopen discovery. Look at the timeline. Now we are squarely into the territory of Trump prosecution, okay? September 2023, Joycelyn Wade filed a motion to reopen discovery. Reopen discovery, alleging that Nathan Wade, while appointed as a special prosecutor in the Trump case, was leading a lavish lifestyle, spending substantial amounts of money, leaving her with minimal financial support. If he did that, he should not have. If he did it and got caught, he should pay. He should pay anyway, period. Whatever the just due is, you submit your documentation as provided. You be transparent so that things like this do not come up to bite you in the ass. Once again, still no Fani Willis district attorney prosecuting Trump mentioned. There's more. December 2023, Nathan Wade reportedly produced some outstanding discovery responses. Discovery, by the way, is something that each attorney must abide by, okay? Revealing credit card statements indicating non-work-related trips with Willis. Can I say this again? In December 2023, Nathan Wade produced outstanding discovery responses revealing credit card statements indicating non-work-related trips with Willis. This is 2 years after legal separation. 2 years after legal separation, he provided the documentation to comply with the motion. There's more. Credit card statements indicating non-work related trips with Willis. As a result, Joycelyn Wade decided to now serve DA Willis. Everyone knows she's in the middle of this prosecution, and obviously based on the court records previous, there was no issue with Fani Willis, except for after their marriage had ended. So Joycelyn Wade served Willis with a notice of deposition, meaning putting the DA under oath on January 8th. Wade has not, admitted to a romantic relationship with Wade and defended him in a speech, the DA has not, and defended him in the speech with the historic Bethel AME Church. She was there on January 14th. We covered that at Indisputable. She sought, talking about the DA, she sought a protective order against the deposition, basically saying this is now harassing litigation because I have no unique knowledge of anything that would have made their marriage fall apart. I did not even have a connection to this guy in this way until after their marriage was done. I have no unique knowledge here, Judge. That is a credible defense to a motion that's this probative, all right? Okay, so a judge actually granted that motion, agreed and said, yeah, it looks like you probably don't have unique information, at least temporarily, all right? So that motion was granted. The impact of the alleged relationship between Willis and Wade on the case against former Trump and his cronies, where 4 have accepted plea deals, that remains uncertain. Calls for investigations into the matter have been made, including Fulton County Commissioner Bob Ellis, Republican, by the way. The Republican on the commission, Bob Ellis, who sent a letter to Willis last week, and Senator Greg Dolezal, who introduced legislation to establish the Senate Special Committee on Investigations to look into the allegations of misconduct. An evidentiary hearing in the divorce case is scheduled for January 31st in Cobb County Superior Court, and Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee has set a hearing to consider Roman's motion to dismiss his case next month on February 15th. I got your timeline. I have the actual motion and the response to the motion, which is unsealing of the divorce records. We now see that DA Fani Willis in her motion, when she said, I have no unique knowledge of their divorce, she was telling the truth. The insinuation that she somehow was involved in a nefarious way that ripped up this happy marriage, allegedly, was completely false. The narrative and the rumors were utilized to do exactly what has now happened. Because instead of the main thing being the main thing, we're talking about a divorce, an entangled relationship perhaps, and somebody spending money on a credit card in 2023, 2 years after there's no more marriage connection. This is about one thing: eliminating the opportunity to get to former President Donald Trump. Because the one thing he does not want is a black woman prosecuting him. He already knows. A black woman prosecuting him, she is not subjected to his threats. She is not afraid of his political might. She did not back down from the initial special purpose grand jury investigation, nor the normative grand jury indictment. She has been doing this for a few years now and has not stopped under any pressure. So what do they do now? They created a narrative Now, is Mr. Wade potentially out of line here with some of the dynamics not produced by way of order to the court? Of course, could have avoided this by producing the information earlier, but you probably still don't avoid someone manipulating the information to make it seem like it is something else. He's the one who provided the receipts in the first place. Okay? He's a single man now. You can do that. Is there possibly a county issue? Perhaps. That's an inter-office dynamic. It's nothing legally chargeable, as the Georgia Bureau of Investigations has already concluded. All right. Hell of a thing. Okay, here we go. My dear sister, I had to put it all on the record so everybody can see it full blast. Yeah. What say you?
You know, from the beginning, we all knew exactly what this was. This was not just a long shot attempt for Trump and his team to evade accountability for the crimes that they've been accused of committing. It was always an attempt to call the legitimacy of the whole case and the whole trial and the whole DA's office into question. Trump has learned that it doesn't matter whether or not he gets accused of committing crimes. All that matters is whether or not he has public support behind him. He already knows that half of his supporters don't actually care whether or not he's a criminal, but they also know that the other half can be pretty easily convinced that Trump is not only innocent, but he's a victim. These evil Democrats are just trying to get to him, but he's out there doing the work, fighting the fight so that his supporters don't have to. He's their martyr and they love him for it. All he's doing with any of this is wasting time, and he's wasting resources, and he is securing votes.
Yep, that's right. DA Fani Willis, I highly encourage you to file a bar complaint against this attorney for making this filing in bad faith. This is something that is fileable based on what we now know factually. All right? Bring you updates as they come.